Agradaa has been jailed, and this is wild and serious because it goes way back to 2013. Now, 2 days ago, she was found guilty of defrauding by false pretense and charlatanic advertisement. Now, with the charlatanic advertisement, she was fined 300 cedis, and with the defrauding by false pretense, she was given 15 years imprisonment term. Now, what does the law say about this? What is defrauding by false pretense? Why was she made to go to the hospital for a pregnancy test before she was sentenced? Is it true that in Ghana, in prison, 1 year means 9 months, meaning if she has been given 15 years, technically she's going to just spend 10 years. Is this true? Now, let's see what the law says. Now, first, you cannot engage in illegal activities and still want to be popular. That's clout chasing. Now, clout chasing and politics have evidently been the downfall of most people, especially in this social media age. And this is just an education, not an illicit advice. Now, what is defrauding by false pretense? If we say defrauding by false pretense, it is when a person with the intention of defrauding makes a representation by words or conduct or a fact which the person believes or knows is not true, or is forced to induce, trick, or lure you to give them your property or your money. Now, let me break this down. Now, simply defrauding by false pretense is when me, with the intention of defrauding you, intentionally say something that I know is false and is not true, yet I make that statement in order to lure you or deceive you to give me your money or your property. And this punishment, according to section 131 of Act 29, is 25 years or less. And you need 2 things to make a person guilty of defrauding by false pretense, which is 1, the person must commit the act, and 2, the person must have the intention to defraud others. Now, did she have the intention to defraud? Now, before we go into that, I'm unable to conclude or give my personal opinion because the official document is not out. And yes, the lawyers are very good. And now, far from this, back to the case. Way back in 2013, she was accused of a scam where 35 people reported her to the police that she had taken their money, which amounted to 58,000 plus. And 58,000 in 2013 is really huge. Now, that case didn't go through due to certain legal technicalities. However, linking 2013 to 2021, 2022, and 2025 could establish a pattern of intention to defraud people or intention to defraud the public. Now, fast forward in 2022, she was found guilty and convicted of illegal broadcasting and charlatanic advertisement. Interestingly, shortly after, she made it to the news that she had repented, she had given her life to Christ, and that Christ has called her, and she opened a church. Now, here's where the whole plot twist starts. She publicly announced that she was going to share 300,000 Ghana cedis, which is in the old currency 3 billion, at a night service. Therefore, people should join her night service. Lots of media houses reported about this, and bam, the next morning news was all over social media stating that she asked the members to give her money and in turn left the service without fulfilling her part of the promise. Now, on 9th August, Ghana police reported that they are seeing the allegations making rounds on social media that she had scammed or she had defrauded people. Therefore, they are making investigations into that, and further reported or stated that anyone within the public space that has been a victim of this or has more information to this should visit the regional command center to assist in further investigation. Now, since you have that fact, back to the question, did she have the mentality or the intention to defraud people? Now, the police could simply say, yes, she's guilty and had the mindset because she intended to defraud them. She intended to deceive the people. That was why she first made a video stating that she was going to share 3 billion, that is 300,000 cedis. Knowing that it was fake, she still decided to post that video to lure people to come to her church service. Now, during the church service, knowing very well that she had already painted a picture in the minds of the members that, oh, today she's going to share 3 billion, she forcefully made another statement by asking them to bring money and that she was going to double it. And by all this false representation, the members had already concluded that, oh, since she's going to share 3 billion, 300,000 Ghana cedis, and she's asking for us to give money for her to double it, then why don't I give her all the money I have so she doubles it for me? And that establishes the intention or the mindset to defraud by false pretense. Since she made a statement that, oh, I'm going to share 3 billion with the intention that if they come to the service, she's going to tell them to pay money to her for her to double the money and leave the service. And yes, mentality established. They came and she did it as per the report. Act established, act committed. And the police can go on and say, oh, even check her history. That is not the first time she has even defrauded a person. And this is no new thing. She had the intention to do that. And once the act has been committed, it has been proven, the mentality has been established, then you qualify to be guilty for this offense. Now, honestly, she may not have intended to defraud them. She may not have intended to take their money. She may not have intended to scam them. However, the principles and the teachings of law are simple. The law cannot come into your mind to find out what you were thinking, and the law would not ask you what you were thinking because you could lie. The court would rather look into existing factors. They would look into your conduct. They'll look into your past actions. They'll look into your pattern. They'll look into things that you've done, even if it wasn't your plan to commit the act, even if it wasn't your intention to defraud them. One's intent can be established from your actions or proving them, because it establishes an element to make you guilty of the crime you are being accused of. But then let's wait till the full case is out to give a good breakdown of what happened or really happened in her case. Now let's move on to why she was told to conduct a pregnancy test before conviction. Why did the court allow her to go to the hospital for her to check if she was pregnant before the court would sentence her? Was the court being biased? Was the court doing that because she's a public figure, or was the court doing that because she's Agradaa? Now let's see what the law says. Now you see, the reason is very simple: because of the unborn child. Now once she gives birth, the child has a lot of rights. The right for a child to be taken care of, the right for a child to grow with a parent, children's right to education, children's right to social activities. You can mention them. The list goes on and on and on. There are a lot of rights children have, and realistically, the prisons have not been equipped to embrace these rights of children. And the principle is very simple: the welfare of the child is paramount. In taking decisions involving children, the court is likely to take decisions that would go to the benefit of the child, or decisions that would best benefit the child and not even the parents or people involved. And since the prison does not have all it takes to raise a child, before a woman is sentenced, the court would ask that she goes for a pregnancy test. So now once she tests positive for that pregnancy test, then the sentencing, which is the imprisonment, would be changed or would be substituted for a non-custodial sentence. Now non-custodial, custody means prison, so non-custodial, non-prison. So any punishment that does not involve the person being held in prison. Or secondly, the court would rather suspend her sentencing or suspend imprisoning her. So here's the thing: if the court finds that she's pregnant and the court doesn't want to give her non-custodial sentencing, the court can also give her suspension of a sentencing or suspension of imprisoning her, which means instead of her to spend that 15 years in prison, is going to be suspended. However, in an event where she commits another crime within that suspension, then she's going to enjoy both the punishment that was suspended together with the new one that would be given to her. So if it's 15 years plus the new one, 20 years, she's going to enjoy that. 20 years rent-free in prison. That is nice. You didn't pay rent. Now let's move on. And this is for non-capital offense. So remember, this is because of the child. If you do not do this, it will seem as though you are punishing two people. That is the mother and the child, because most of the child's rights would be restricted. And one reason why a person is in prison is because some of the person's rights is taken away from the person as a form of punishment. So if the prison is not equipped to take care of the child, then we are taking some of the child's rights away from him when he has not committed an offense. Technically, you are punishing the child when he has not committed an offense. So it is just for the benefit of the child and not being gender biased. Now let's move to whether or not 1 year imprisonment term in Ghana means you are only going to serve 9 months and not 1 year. What does the law say? Now the answer to this is both yes and no. Let's start with the yes. Yes, because according to section 34 of the Prison Service Act of Ghana, a person who has been sentenced or imprisoned for 6 months and above and not death penalty or death sentence can earn remission. And remission means the sentence of that person can be reduced if the person conducts him or herself well. So take a number, divide it by 3 and subtract the answer you get from the number that you pick, and that would be the sentence, or that would be the calculation for 1/3. Now the reason for no is because it is wrong to say in Ghana 1 year in prison means 9 months, or 12 months in prison means 9 months, or 15 years in prison means 10 months. While there's a little bit of truth in it, is wrong. The principle is simple, that with good behavior, your sentence should be reduced. However, if the prison service are reducing your sentence, then it shouldn't pass 1/3 of your sentence, meaning they are not forced to reduce it by 1/3. However, if they want to reduce, it shouldn't pass 1/3. They can give you 1 month reduction, or 15 days reduction, or 12 days reduction. You cannot tell. So it is not a fixed provision or position in Ghanaian law that 1 year means 9 months. Remember, according to section 34 of the Prison Service Act of Ghana, your sentence is likely to be reduced if you conduct yourself well, and that reduction should not exceed or go beyond 1/3 of your sentence. So either 1/3 or less. Remember, this is the Law Ghana, and kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. Long form content will be posted here. This is a test, and please, I just hope you found this helpful, and if yes, then kindly subscribe and like and share this video. I'm Ida Brown. This is the Law Ghana. Thank you for watching the full video, and till we meet again, stay safe.